After standing face-to-face with four of the greatest legends in modern boxing history, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather, and Shane Mosley, toughest fighters in the welterweight and middleweight divisions. A warrior who knew no retreat, he faced the elite without hesitation and left his fighting mark in every bout he entered, no matter how tough the opponent or how difficult the battle. Cotto wasn't just a physically strong boxer, he was a perfect blend of power and tactics. He possessed a ferocious offensive style with an outstanding ability to absorb punches and come back in the most difficult moments. He fought with the spirit of a warrior and was always ready to enter fiery wars in the ring without blinking an eye. From his epic battle against Manny Pacquiao to his intense bout with Floyd Mayweather, passing through his fierce confrontation with rising star Canelo Alvarez and his notable victory over the legend Shane Mosley, each of these encounters formed a pivotal chapter in Cotto's career and helped shape his fighting identity. And as time went by and interviews and media appearances accumulated where Cotto spoke about his unique journey in the world of boxing, one question kept surfacing strongly. Who was the toughest opponent Miguel Cotto ever faced? A question thread. In this video, we'll take you on an exciting journey through the highlights of these fights, analyzing how Cotto dealt with each opponent and what made each bout special in its own way, until we reach the answer that Cotto himself declared. Who was the strongest boxer he ever faced? So I hope you appreciate my effort and support me by subscribing to the channel. His first fight against Shane Mosley on November 10, 2007 at Madison Square Garden, New York. In an evening full of elite boxing, Miguel Cotto stepped into the ring to face one of the pillars of American boxing in the modern era, Shane Mosley, in a bout that drew the attention of boxing fans around the world. From the start, Cotto imposed his presence in the ring, moving confidently, striking with calculated steps and a notable awareness of the ring, while Mosley relied on his usual speed and long-standing experience dealing with top-tier opponents. The early rounds were quite balanced. Both exchanged punches, with a slight edge to Cotto, who appeared more active and responsive under pressure. Cotto used his body effectively, delivering powerful body shots in an attempt to slow down Mosley's movement, who was known for his speed and agility. In the middle rounds, Mosley tried to come back with his renowned intelligence. He focused on headshots and attempted to break through Cotto's defenses, which were impressively tight. But Cotto, with his tactical savvy, began to take a step back strategically, absorbing the attack and then responding with strong counterattacks that embarrassed Mosley on several occasions. There was no overwhelming dominance from either boxer. Rather, it was a back-and-forth battle decided by minor details. The audience was on the edge of their seats with every violent exchange and every shift in momentum. By the final rounds, Cotto seemed to have preserved his stamina better. He relatively controlled rounds 10 and 11 through direct body and head punches, preventing Mosley from building long attacks. Cotto was betting on consistency and playing with his opponent's nerves. The fight ended with a unanimous decision in favor of Miguel Cotto, one of the greatest victories of his professional career. His second fight against Manny Pacquiao on November 14, 2009 at the MGM Grand Las Vegas for the WBO welterweight title. 2 years after his victory over Shane Mosley, Miguel Cotto stood before a completely different kind of challenge. Manny "Pac-Man" Pacquiao, who was coming off an astonishing winning streak that had made him the biggest star in the boxing world at the time. He entered this fight aiming to add another weight class to his historic title collection, in a direct challenge to Cotto, who was never an easy opponent. Changing angles and breaking through defenses with extremely fast punches. As the rounds progressed, Pacquiao to dominate even more. Though Cotto showed remarkable fighting spirit, trying to use body shots and close the distance, in these rounds, Cotto's face began to show signs of damage, and his physical performance gradually declined, while retreating in pain, simply trying to endure. Finally, in the 12th round, the referee stepped in and stopped the fight TKO. His third fight against Floyd Mayweather Jr. on the night of May 5, 2012, at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Miguel Cotto faced one of the greatest names in boxing history, Floyd Mayweather Jr. From the first round, the scene was clear. Mayweather's movements were light and smart, dodging, slipping, and striking with precision. The distance was always under his control. He didn't allow Cotto to get too close, and when he did, he found himself against an ironclad defense and a speed of response too fast for the eye to follow. It was clear from the start that Cotto was on an almost impossible mission. But even so, the Puerto Rican warrior didn't back down, nor did he resort to defense alone. He fought with everything he had, tried to press, unleashed his signature punch combinations, and looked to find any gap in Mayweather's perfect armor. Yet every attempt was met with smart, swift counters from the American. As the rounds went on, it became evident the fight was turning into a Mayweather showcase. His punches were more accurate and effective, his movements smarter, and his control of the fight's rhythm complete. Meanwhile, despite his relentless efforts, Cotto was overwhelmed by the disparity in speed, size, and skill. Each round was clearly in Mayweather's favor. Nevertheless, Cotto showed rare resilience, refusing to surrender or back down, preserving his courage and dignity in the ring. By the end of the 12th round, the fight had been effectively decided. The judges announced a unanimous decision victory for Floyd Mayweather. His fourth fight against Canelo, on November 21, 2015, Miguel Cotto stepped into the Mandalay Bay ring in Las Vegas to face the rapidly rising Mexican star Saúl Canelo Alvarez in a bout for the WBC middleweight championship. The fight was a battle of generations. Cotto, the seasoned veteran who had carried Puerto Rico's flag for a decade, versus Canelo, the young Mexican poised to become his country's next boxing icon after his high-profile fight with Floyd Mayweather. From the very beginning, the dynamics of the bout were clear. Cotto moved lightly, trying to score points with fast punches, while Canelo stalked, pressured, and waited for the perfect moment to unleash his power. As the rounds progressed, Canelo began to assert his physical strength. Though Cotto landed more punches in volume, Canelo's blows were more impactful, especially when he managed to pin Cotto to the ropes or close the distance. In the middle rounds, the pace increasingly tilted in Canelo's favor. His body shots wore Cotto down, who never stopped fighting or retreating but seemed less sharp and more cautious during exchanges. As the final rounds approached, Canelo increased his aggression, while Cotto tried to maintain a safe distance, relying on his usual defensive tactics and quick counters. When the 12th round ended, both fighters stood in the center of the ring waiting for the decision. Despite Cotto's high-level performance, Canelo's power and control of the fight led the judges to declare him the winner by unanimous decision. After all these major battles, Miguel Cotto fought against some of the greatest fighters. One question always followed him in press conferences and interviews. Who was the strongest and fiercest among them? Cotto, who knew the true meaning of power under the ring lights, never hesitated in his honest answer. Manny Pacquiao was the strongest I've ever faced, while acknowledging Mayweather's defensive brilliance and ability to nullify opponents' plans, and showing deep respect for Mosley's toughness and experience, and recognizing Canelo's power and physical aggression. Still, Pacquiao in his eyes was a different kind of fighter altogether. Cotto once said, "When you face Pacquiao, you feel the ring closing in on you. He gives you no chance to breathe. He attacks from angles you can't see, with power you don't expect." Then he added, in a reflective tone that summed up years of battles, "I lost to him, yes, but I learned more from that fight than any other. He made me fight with everything I had. He made me realize my limits." Thus, with all clarity, Miguel Cotto placed his name among those who didn't see defeat as weakness, but rather as a testimony to the greatness of those they faced. And in his eyes, there was no one stronger,